South Loop of Chicago on this Tuesday night, as nobody is playing better than St. John's. They've won 7 straight entering the night, taking on a DePaul Blue Demons team who's trying to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss. They are one of the 4 teams in that cluster in the middle at 4-7. St. John's with a win tonight can pull within 1 game of first place UConn. Hello everyone, we welcome you inside Wintrust Arena. Former Creighton Blue Jay Nick Bond, Noah Reed with you. It was a rather slow start to the season for St. John's, but having won 7 in a row, this team is starting to look like the team we thought we were going to get to begin the year.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this was the preseason 5th-ranked team in the country, so the hopes were really high for St. John's, and they're starting to round into form because Dylan Mitchell is starting to round into form. He's been inserted in that starting lineup. He's playing over 30 minutes a game during this 7-game winning streak. He has really unlocked a lot of what St. John's does on both ends of the floor. The Red Storm are really starting to play at a really, really high clip.
And they've also got the preseason player of the year in the Big East, Zuby Ejiofor, who has played like that all season long.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Zuby Ejiofor does a little bit of everything. How about leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks? He really is a star. No, that's about all he can do. Maybe he makes the team meal as well. This guy, his motor is tremendous. This is what he does best, Noah. Crash that offensive glass and get second chance opportunities. And he is going to have to be slowed down by this guy, NJ Benson, DePaul's big man in the interior. He's going to have his hands full wrestling Zuby Ejiofor, and he needs to do a nice job of doing that and doing it without fouling. But he also has to be a great screener in the pick and rolls, and he's got to provide a post presence inside. A lot on NJ Benson's plate tonight.
Well, the rest of the starting lineups look like this, and you brought it up with Dylan Mitchell. 3 double-doubles in the last 4 games.
He has really helped Ian Jackson in particular, being a secondary ball handler. He's actually doing a nice job distributing the ball, too. He's got 25 assists over these last 7 games, but Mitchell is an elite athlete and has really helped St. John's in a variety of ways.
Over the last 7 games, when he re-entered the starting lineup, this team is 7-0. He's averaging 11.5 points and more than 9 rebounds in that stretch. And for DePaul, it's all about that big 3, and it has been for a couple years now. Layden Blocker, C.J. Gunn, and N.J. Benson have to be great tonight for a chance to knock off a top 25 team in the country.
And it's going to be challenging for them to turn the page because it was a heartbreaking loss on Saturday at Xavier. A game winner from Bor Vichanen.
Rick Pitino, year 3 at St. John's, 38 years in total as a head coach. He just surpassed 900 career wins a little over a week ago. Off we go inside Wintrust Arena. St. John's has won 7 in a row. They can pull within 1 game of first place UConn with a win tonight.
DePaul has really improved on the defensive end. Their physicality is there, but they're going to have their hands full.
That's a great cut and a pass from Jackson, but the layup isn't there for Mitchell. And here comes DePaul. You alluded to it. An 18-point second-half blown lead on Saturday against Xavier. They are ready to get out on the floor and get that bad taste out of their mouth.
Played really well for 30 minutes. We're dominating Xavier inside the Cintas Center. So they did a lot of good things.
Gave up a 17-3 run to end that game. Philip Borovichinen hit a buzzer beater to win that game for the Musketeers. Layden Blocker, late shot clock, missed everything on the fadeaway.
Something to watch with St. John's. They switch a lot of screens. That can really bother DePaul because they don't have a lot of great individual one-on-one guys. So it's going to be important for them to find a way to get some easy baskets in the open floor if they can.
Look at this defense from DePaul. They're not letting anybody catch it. Hopkins accelerates into the lane, got a defender up, and a whistle against N.J. Benson.
Great effort initially, and Chris Holtman has to like the beginning of that defensive possession, but the end, you got to have good discipline and not biting on that shot fake.
Second year as the head coach, and what a remarkable job he's done already in this rebuild.
Absolutely. This was a DePaul team that 0-20 in the Big East the year before he took over. They at one point had lost 39 consecutive Big East regular season games. I think Chris Holtman is the perfect guy to lead DePaul back into prominence. And you can feel that this Blue Demons program is building a very solid foundation.
0-20 the year before, like you said. They went 4-16 in the league last year. They have already matched that win total this year at 4-7 and blowing an 18-point second half lead. You could say they should have already surpassed that number.
Agreed. And A big part of a rebuild is getting the competitive standard to be where it needs to be. And I think you'd agree with me, Noah. I think Chris Holtmann has done that or is in the process of achieving that as we speak.
Contested three, C.J. Gunn off the mark. 2 possessions for DePaul that have not drawn iron. St. John's leads the series 36-22 all time. They've won 8 consecutive, including a meeting already this year about a month and a half ago in Queens.
Both these teams very different than they were when they met a month and a half ago.
Ejiofor, mid-range jumper, too strong. Offensive rebound. Mitchell's been so good on the glass in this 7-game win streak for the Johnnies.
Yeah, he's averaging 9 rebounds a game during the 7-game winning streak.
Isaiah Sellers gets it away. Ejiofor, no, swirls all the way around and out.
It's important for Benson to not pick up that second personal foul. Did a good job just going straight up there.
C.J. Gunn darts into the paint. Fades away over the top of Ejiofor. It's too strong.
Great help from Ejiofor. Shut off that drive and contested the fadeaway.
Mitchell. Tapped around. Hopkins has it. Jackson blows right by the defender for an easy lay-in.
Already multiple offensive rebounds from St. John's. It's a huge part of their identity. 38% of their misses they get. That's 11th most in the country.
Leighton Blocker all the way to the basket. Can't get it to fall. Got his own miss and the stick back.
I think Blocker is incredibly important because he's the most athletic backcourt player for DePaul. Got to match the athleticism for the Red Storm. And he's got to handle the ball, too.
They will use more than just him. As Chris Holtmann said, we understand it can't be one ball handler against this pressure that St. John's applies.
It's got to be rebounding by committee and ball handling by committee.
Mitchell has the size advantage. It rolls off the front of the rim.
Boy, some easy ones right at the rim. But you see Mitchell trying to punish the smaller blocker in the post.
Only 1 made field goal on each side. The teams are a combined 2 of 11 to begin the day. Teo Pierre, Justin sticks the 3.
Well, he's starting to shoot the ball at a high clip, just a shade under 40%. He got his feet wet at the end of last year with a lot of opportunities, and you can feel his comfort rising and his confidence in his shot.
And to your point, 53% over the last 4 games.
Really, really important.
Foul called against C.J. Gunn sends Bryce Hopkins to the free throw line.
Boy, the front line for St. John's puts so much pressure on you, whether it be via the drive or post up. Hopkins, Mitchell, and Ejiofor so physical.
Bryce Hopkins at the line from nearby Oak Park, Illinois. Homecoming of sorts for him. Did not attempt a free throw in their game against Butler last week. He's already at the line for the 3rd and 4th time in the first 4 minutes tonight.
And St. John's lives at the free throw line. 15th most free throw attempts per game in the country. So that's a big part of how they score. Free throws and second chance points are a big part of the equation for the Johnnies.
Blocker with a kick out. Brandon Macklin, who just checked in, has been great off the bench for DePaul in the last few games. R.J. Smith working off a screen. Shot clock at 8. Step back 3. Short, just barely grazed the rim. And last touch by N.J. Benson sends us to our first timeout of the day, tied 5-5.
Well, a pretty physical, competitive start like we would expect. Teo Pierre, Justin lining one up, knocking one down for DePaul here in Wintrust Arena. All knotted up at 5 early.
Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dance. Like I can fly and don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an urban pace, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. I feel when I'm with you.
Celebrity Cruises. Nothing comes close. What you looking at, babe?
Cars on cars.com.
What's wrong with this one?
I just got promoted, so I'm looking for something more.
We all deserve more. We all deserve some ice cream!
Ice cream! Ice cream! Ice cream!
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.
Ciao.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
Big East basketball is brought to you by Discover. With Discover It, fans can earn cash back on their game day purchases, and by Jeep. There's only one. Well, maybe not the offensive start you would want if you're either team, having a combined 3 of 13 from the field, but I think defense is probably what we expect most when these two teams play.
Yes, and if you're St. John's, though, you've missed a couple of easy shots right at the rim, so you like that you've been able to get on the offensive glass, get shots in the paint, but nevertheless, a little bit of a slow start both ways for DePaul and St. John's.
And Chris Holtman's team lost the first meeting of the year in Queens all the way back in December. That was in the Big East opener. Rick Pitino's team, meanwhile, has not lost a game in exactly a month. January 3rd, a home game against Providence, a game that they led by 36 minutes, or for 36 minutes, by the way. Very close to being a team that has won 10 in a row.
Yes. And again, like we talked at the top, St. John's was the preseason 5th-ranked team in the country. The bar was set high for this group, and they're slowly rounding into form. Chris Holtman thinks this St. John's team is better than the one last year that was a 2 seed. Certainly that could be debatable, but I think this group is more talented offensively.
Zuby, edge of 4, hits the 3.
It's funny, Noah, we talked to Rick Pitino about a month ago about Zuby's threes. He said, I prefer them in the final 10 seconds of the shot clock, but that one in rhythm and open, and he drills it.
Hey, if you're going to make them, you can shoot them at any time in the shot clock.
Yeah, right. If they go in, you can shoot them whenever you want.
That put him over 1,000 in his St. John's career. He also spent a year before that with Kansas, so has well over 1,000 points, but 1,000 in his St. John's career. And Jay Benson spins right around him for the bucket.
Boy, was that a decisive physical move from Benson, and you got to be quick with Ejiofor. It's hard to win a wrestling match with him.
Jackson got the defender to fly by, steps back for a 3 offline. Ejiofor is elite on the glass, and he's got a chance with 2 free throws.
I thought Chris Holtman had a perfect comparison for Zuby Ejiofor. He compared him to Tyler Hansborough, at least from the standpoint of his relentless motor on the glass. It is just remarkable to watch Ejiofor and how he pursues every single shot that goes up for his teammates to go track him down.
And I thought you asked Rick Pitino today, too, is he one of the best that you've coached in terms of his motor? And Coach Pitino said, maybe the best.
Yes, and he talked about how it's not just in games, it's every single day in practice. Rick Pitino also said, we got a very nice team. We're a bunch of nice guys. We need some guys that maybe are a little mean, and Zuby's got a little bit of that mean streak in him.
On the floor only, of course.
On the floor only, yes. A nice guy off the floor, but the way he attacks the offensive glass, oh my goodness, is it special. So you got the switch, Ejiofor out on the perimeter. Mitchell's able to wrestle Benson in the post.
Lob up top to Benson, and a foul against Zuby Ejiofor.
See, that's what DePaul's going to have to do. Macklin, he's got the mismatch, at least on paper, right? This is Zuby Ejiofor, the 5-man. You got to be able to win that one-on-one battle to at least create a defensive rotation. And Chris Holtman was very worried about the switching from St. John's. Not Benson's strength. Just a 48% free throw shooter.
Misses both here. But he'll get a chance at the second one again. Lane violation on St. John's.
Looks like Mitchell got caught leaning in there.
Caleb Banks checks in for the first time. He's only played 8 minutes per game the last 5, but in the first meeting with these two, Nick, a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds. So something to monitor today if he maybe has some sort of mismatch tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Banks, talent is there. And you're talking about a guy that had 33 points and 16 rebounds last year against Florida State when he was with Tulane. And so I think he's important because he can stretch the defense a little bit, shoot the three, but Banks could loom large off the bench for the Blue Demons.
7-2, Fabian Flores comes into the game as Benson takes his first seat. Edge of 4. Shot clock down to 5. Sannon walled up by Flores. Hopkins with 2, spins to the free throw line. No, tap in won't fall. Last touch by St. John's. It goes back to the Blue Demons.
What an excellent defensive possession from DePaul. Locked in, and credit Leighton Blocker. He was fighting Dylan Mitchell down low in the post. Wouldn't allow the ball to go in. That was a terrific 30 seconds of defense from Chris Holtman's crew.
They're giving up less than 70 points per game, 4th best in the Big East, and that is what his team is hanging their hat on this season.
No doubt the biggest area of improvement from year 1 to year 2 for Chris Holtman here at Chicago, the defensive end of the floor. Last year's group was kind of built to outscore you. A lot of three-point shooting. This group, a lot more positional size. That was a point of emphasis, and just a lot more physicality on the defensive end.
Pass nearly intercepted by Mitchell. Gunn working off the screen. Pull up, mid-range jumper, won't get the bounce.
And that's his shot, too. This guy's played at a high level, too, over the last 7 games. Dylan Darling.
Sannon gives it up. 3 is a little bit off the mark from Abin Ayo. Gunn gets all the way to the cup. Defender up in the air, and an easy lay-in for C.J. Gunn.
Got to be a second shot fake kind of a day for DePaul with how St. John's attacks blocking shots. That was nice from Gunn.
Sannon swirls out in the 3. Flores taps the rebound to Gunn. St. John's just 2 of 11 from the field. Gunn gets around the defender. 4 quick points for C.J. Gunn, and DePaul goes in front.
I love it when Gunn gets layups early in a game. He has a tendency to settle for tough shots. He can make those, but I love when he has a paint mentality. Wow.
Leighton Blocker flying in out of nowhere to swat Dylan Darling.
Tell you what, Blocker, pretty good athlete at that point guard spot. He is beat, and a nice recovery on Dylan Darling there.
Known for his elite defense coming out of high school was Leighton Blocker. Went to Sunrise Christian, one of the top programs in the country. He was a finalist for Naismith Player of the Year in high school a couple of years ago. Hopkins drops it off underneath. This is Ruben Prey, who just came into the game for the first time. Mitchell, right to that left hand, can't finish. Prey the offensive rebound, and a whistle against DePaul. Well, C.J. Gunn getting going at the rim.
Well, any formula of DePaul winning this game has to have Gunn scoring the basketball. Known for his three-point shooting in mid-range, but how about the pivots? Up, under, lay it in for C.J. Gunn.
And Doug.
There it is, Limu, the 50-yard line. Soon we'll be telling the whole stadium how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance. To save people hundreds! Whoa! Ah! Looks like we're walking.
We'll get them at halftime. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
So how did these strangers, a random collection of guys, end up fast friends? They were +1s to a high school reunion. Not fun. But then someone pulled out the BetMGM app.
Who do you got?
That's all it took. Hey, the game's on downstairs. They bonded over betting stories before even learning each other's names. And when their bet hit, Turns out this reunion wasn't so bad. Make it a bet that turns into a bond. BetMGM Sportsbook. Make it legendary.
This night belongs to the biggest game on the biggest stage. It belongs to the next generation and the one who keeps defying expectation. To the stars in the crowd and the stars on the stage. To the ones looking for a sequel and the ones looking for a rewrite. This night belongs to all of us. Super Bowl 60 on NBC and Peacock.
An early 2-point lead at home for DePaul against top 25 St. John's on Rod Strickland's jersey retirement night. And the man of the hour joins us now on Peacock. Rod Strickland with us. From 85 to 88 played here for DePaul, 3 NCAA tournaments, a pair of Sweet 16s. Rod, what does this day and being back here mean to you?
Man, it means a lot. Man, I don't know. I was just a little overwhelmed. They had a video for me in the back. Kind of caught me off guard. But it just means a lot, man. I got a lot of history here. I had 3 great years here. Chicago's like my second home. A lot of friends here, family here, and this atmosphere, so it feels good.
It was funny. I was reading some of your quotes. You kind of had to recruit Rod Strickland to DePaul rather than necessarily DePaul recruiting you. Tell me about the process of you ending up in Chicago.
Yeah, I was a big DePaul fan. My man right there, Mark Aguirre, the GOAT. I watched him, Terry Cummings. You know, I was a big Kenny Patterson fan. I loved the way they played basketball. You know, they was up and down, transition basketball. I'm from New York. Yep. Love to be in the open court. I love the jerseys. But I just love the style. And DePaul didn't really, I mean, they recruited me, but I was coming.
And Mark was a big part of it. He was the guy that inspired a lot.
I watched him, you know, they were on WGN all the time. And they were on CBS or NBC for the most part when games weren't as televised. And I got a chance to watch Mark and Terry Cummings and all those guys, you know, Ty Corbin, Kenny Patterson. I was just there. That's why I wore number 10, because of Kenny Patterson. You know, when I took my visit here, Kenny Patterson and Ty Corbin took me to see the Jackson 5. Michael Jackson.
What?
So I was coming.
That is incredible.
That's a heck of a recruiting visit right there.
I know that since Chris Holtmann took over this job a couple of years ago, he's brought you back a little bit more. You've been a bit more involved as much as you can with a coaching job of your own. But what are you seeing from this DePaul team and the turnaround that Coach Holtmann has brought them?
Well, first of all, I have to say this: Dwayne Peavy, the AD, while I was at Kentucky, came here and kind of changed things around. I don't know if the alumni felt as welcome before that. So Dwayne Peavy's done a great job of that. And then he hired Chris Holtmann, and like a great guy. You know, he's trying to keep everybody involved. And he's obviously a great coach. As you watch them, the maturity from year to year, like they're, you know, they have a home court advantage here. They're 4-1, the best start, you know, in a long time. So, you know, now St. John's is coming in here like, no, we can beat you guys. So, you know, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, when you think about what DePaul basketball can be with Dwayne, with Chris, there's got to be alignment there. Even having someone like you back here seems like a lot of the boxes are getting checked on what it can be. But what do you feel like DePaul basketball can be in 2026 and beyond?
Well, I think we're going to keep growing. Like, you know, I watch Coach. I've been to a few practices. You know, he's a great coach, great teacher. You know, the guys, I mean, I'm just watching, you know, just going from last year or the year before to right now. Like, the energy feels different. The way they look out there, the confidence, playing together, it looks good. And then they let one slip away the other day.
Yes, they did.
But I look at that and say, you know, now we're at the point where we're in those games, on the road, those tough games, and now we're going to learn how to win those games. But you got to get there first.
Yes.
And so I think it's important that we're doing that now. I think it's important that we're 4-1 at home. We have a home court presence. So I think we're moving in the right direction.
You know, we were talking with Coach Rick Pitino at their shoot-around this morning, and we had, brought up the fact that, hey, you played for him at a year with the Knicks. He made it very clear to us. He said, I drafted him. That was my draft pick. What was it like playing for Coach Pitino?
Coach is crazy. But I'm telling you, he's a genius. And, I mean, Coach Pitino had us shooting three-point shots before three-point shots was really a thing.
Yep.
Obviously, we didn't shoot as many, but he was like, if that toe is across that three-point line, you coming out. So we pressed and we shot three-point shots. So he was an innovator. He's a beast as a coach. I mean, he's one of the all-time great and a great guy. Like, he's always put himself out there for me if I needed him. Like, he's a great coach, great guy, takes care. You can go by his history, takes care of his players, his staffs. They move on to do great things. So he's done a great job for a long, long time.
As you've been in reflection mode today, do you have a game that stands out when you were at DePaul, whether it was in the NCAA tournament? St. John's? Okay. Elaborate, please.
Well, St. John's, we were down. I forgot, but we were down considerable amount for the time. It was late in the game. We came back. I don't know the exact score, but I remember Dallas Cummings being on the foul line, and he missed the foul shot on purpose. Now, no one told him to do that, but he did it on his own. He kind of tried to shoot the ball hard. It went off the rim, went to Kevin Edwards. Kevin Edwards threw it to me, and I went in, changed hands, left-hand layup, and put us into overtime, and then we won.
Wow.
And we went on to the Sweet 16.
Yes.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Tied at 14, just under 9.5 minutes to go before halftime. You're the head coach at Long Island, and since you've taken over, year one, program won 3 games, and it's just got a gradual increase ever since, having another great year this year. What has that process been like, rebuilding a team of your own?
I think it's been amazing. It's been amazing for me because it's been a growth period for me. Not being a head coach, walking in there. I got the job in July, so it was hard recruiting. I had to put something together. 3 wins, 7 wins, 17 wins, and now we're 14-8, 8-1 in conference in first place. We picked to win the conference. Easier said than done, but so we're moving in the right direction, and I feel like I've grown as a coach each year.
Rod, this morning, I found a mixtape of your layups in the NBA, and I know you have if I'm not mistaken, you're Kyrie Irving's godfather.
Yeah.
You were Kyrie before Kyrie, how did you get your creativity? Was it like, did you just have it playing in New York, or where did you cultivate that?
I mean, totally honest, I like Pete Maravich, I like George Gervin, I like Dr. J, I like Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Pearl Washington. So it's like I just picked from everyone and made it my own. But I was always kind of creative. I studied the backboard. Billy Donovan from the Chicago Bulls, he told me one time, you're the first person I seen when I walked in the gym that stood there for 2-3 hours just throwing the ball, flipping it off different angles, different hands off the backboard. And so I don't know, I had a creative mind. I wanted to be different, and it just became my style.
17 years in the NBA, played over 1,000 games. 1 year led the league in assists, over 10 per game. What sticks out to you? I know it's a lot of things, but what sticks out to you about your time in the league?
I think playing 17 years. I mean, just the overall picture. Sometimes I don't think people understand. I was All-NBA second team, led the league in assists. At this point in time, I'm probably top 15, top 15 in assists, top 35 in steals. And I left out, obviously, higher than that. So I just look at the totality, and I think I did a lot in my career. Obviously, everybody wants to win a championship, and everybody wants the big games in the playoffs. But I can appreciate what I did.
I think something that's underrated is you were the last line in a Wu-Tang song. Triumph.
Yes,
you were the last. That's a big deal.
I mean, I'm immortalized forever. Man.
You are.
That will be there because that's the greatest song, one of the greatest songs, rap songs So I will be there.
Yes, you will.
You will hear my name.
Yes, you will.
I'll be there and I'll be up here.
In the rafters and in Wu-Tang lore forever. Rod Strickland.
Well, Rod Strickland, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know it's already been a day full of activities for you, but especially at halftime with the jersey retirement, enjoy that. Congratulations. Well-deserved.
Soak it up, man. Soak it up. Deserved.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, Rod.
All right, Rod.
That is Rod Strickland, his jersey retirement night here at DePaul. Well-earned, going to a couple Sweet 16s, went to 3 NCAA tournaments here at DePaul before a 17-year NBA career. Rod Strickland, one of the best to ever wear a Blue Demon uniform. His team is tied at 17 with top 25 St. John's.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check my outfit before meeting my girlfriend's family. Checking Allstate first was an excellent plan. Not checking which team my girlfriend rooted for? Yeah, not great. So check Allstate first, and you can save hundreds. Ex-girlfriend.
I'm loving this live betting on DraftKings.
With so many options during the game, it feels like I'm calling the plays. Touchdown! See, I bet TD. Who's the king now, Brian?
More like the town fool.
With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings is live when others aren't. So instead of gray, you could be seeing green. Bet on NFL action as it happens with the #1 sportsbook for live betting. All customers bet live during Super Bowl 60 for a share of $5 million in prizes. The crown is yours.
The stage is set for Super Bowl 60. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks take on Drake May and the Patriots for the Lombardi Trophy. It is Super Bowl 60 Sunday on NBC and Peacock from Levi's Stadium, the home of the San Francisco 49ers. Who you got?
God, Patriots.
You think so?
I think so.
All right, I'll go against you then. I'm going Seahawks.
There you go.
Rod Strickland, had a great time chatting with him the last few minutes here and having his jersey retired tonight. One of the best to ever wear a Blue Demons uniform. 17-year NBA career. Now the head coach of LIU, where he took over a team in year one. They won just 3 games. They won 17 last year. Now they're 14-8, first place in the conference. He's done an incredible job as the head coach of LIU.
And I hope people understand, for any younger listeners out there, YouTube Rod Strickland. His highlights, he was a magician with the basketball. I mean, he was one of the most electric players to watch. And so it is so cool to be here and watch him be honored for his time at DePaul. I tell you what, St. John's needs some of those layup. They need to go to Rod Strickland layup camp right now because they're getting shots at the rim, just not finishing right now.
Neither team is shooting the ball well the last 4 or 5 minutes. We're tied at 17. Leighton Blocker gets all the way to the basket, and he draws a whistle against Sannon of St. John's.
Yeah, right now, how about this? DePaul is winning the paint 12-6. St. John's has 7 offensive rebounds, but only 6 second chance points. Just been a struggle for the Red Storm to convert their offensive rebounds and convert when they've gotten inside.
So number 2 on Sannon. He joins Dylan Mitchell with 2 as well. Leighton Blocker knocks down his first free throw to put DePaul up a point.
See, but this is a testament to what Chris Holtman is building, though, where even in a grinder kind of a game, they're able to stand toe-to-toe with St. John's and get drug into the mud and be up for the fight.
Pair of free throws there for Leighton Blocker. They've shown the ability to win games when they score 80. They've shown the ability to win games when they score 65 because they hold somebody to 62.
That's right. If you're St. John's, can you continue to play with energy even though the ball's not going through the net?
Whistle here against Cruz McClure, as that was Leotopoulos coming off the screen. Look at our schedule coming up on Peacock for Big East basketball. 3 games tomorrow, including Seton Hall, Villanova, Butler, Providence, Creighton, and Georgetown. And then Seton Hall, Creighton, the lone game on the Big East on Peacock this coming Saturday. that D Rose in the building?
Oh, we're going to need to verify that.
Good take by Ian Jackson. Leighton Blocker lost it, turned it over, ball goes back to St. John's, and when the Johnnies are turning you over is when they are really, really good.
Yeah, it's a big part of their equation. They force a little over 14 turnovers a game. Ideally, they're live ball and they're off to the races and playing to their athleticism.
You and I had a St. John's game earlier this year at Butler where they forced 21 turnovers. Jackson had it slapped away for a moment. Leotopoulos catch and shoot. He's short on the three. Ejiofor the offensive rebound. Hopkins on the reload. No. And boarded by Macklin. Macklin going coast to coast all the way to the cup. Missed everything.
That's where St. John's really has got to explore.
Hopkins in-out dribble, glides to the basket, and he's going to the line. 2 more free throws coming up for Bryce Hopkins. It'll be his 5th and 6th free throw attempts of the night already.
It's where Mitchell and Bryce Hopkins are special because they can get the rebound and can push it. And with their size and speed and skill, good luck stepping in front of those guys.
Second foul on Teo Pierre-Justin. He becomes the second Blue Demon with 2 in this first half. The other is the leading scorer, C.J. Gunn.
And so some important guys with 2. Dylan Mitchell, C.J. Gunn. Managing that is going to be important for both coaching staffs.
And for the time being, Pierre-Justin's going to stay in the game. It's Benson and Blocker who check out. And also C.J. Gunn on the bench. So the 3 leading scorers for DePaul all sitting on the bench right now. Where do you think that offense has to come from?
Well, I think it's going to have to come ideally off of transition, but that's going to be challenging against St. John's. But to me, Macklin creating, he's really played consistently well. He's double figures 6 of his last 7 games. Maybe look in that direction.
McClure on a step back 3 connects.
Or a freshman with a step back.
They think he's really coming into his own. They're high on this guy.
He was a finalist for the Mr. Basketball Award in the state of Ohio. This guy was a talented offensive player.
Ten to shoot. Hopkins weaving into the paint. Drops it off to Ejiofor. Defended by Flores at 7'2". Forced the miss, and Macklin flies in for the rebound.
The size of Flores forced Ejiofor to settle.
You don't say that about many guys.
No.
Against Ejiofor.
No, he's usually relentless at getting to the rim. Flores is big. Seeing him in person multiple times now, he is all of 7'2".
Smith rejects the screen. 3 to shoot. Smith against Leotopoulos falls away as the shot clock expires. Missed everything, and it's a shot clock violation.
Boy, these 2 teams are playing hard. Defensive, it's hard to get anything clean right now, both ways.
Listen, if you love smooth offense, this maybe isn't the game for you right now, but if you love physicality, if you love relentless defense, this is the game for you.
The other thing that's been challenging for St. John's, not being able to score a ton, they haven't been able to set their full court press, which is a big part of their game too.
Rick Pitino's team just 1 for their last 8. They have not scored in about 2.5 minutes. Jackson, the flow by a Flores, and he pins it against the backboard. It does stay here with the Johnnies.
Man, Flores is going to be a heck of a player here. Was expected to be kind of a redshirt developmental piece, but has just been too good. He got eligible. He's impressed the coaches, and got good feel, good length, good shot blocking, timing as well.
From Spain, he did not show up on campus until late August, right before classes started. So, like you said, they weren't really expecting him to be a piece of this year's team, but he has been. Kick out, Hopkins nails the 3 and turns around and has a word for the DePaul bench.
What a great play from Ejiofor, too. Being able to drive, 2-foot jump stop in the paint. Big shot for Hopkins.
When your 6'9" big man can distribute that well, that's something nice to have.
Yeah, again, he leads the team in assists. Yeah. Ejiofor does.
Blocker cut off by Jackson. That's really good one-on-one defense. Blocker short, Ejiofor. The rebound poked away by Blocker, and he saves it in. Banks kick out. Smith reloads. Got it.
Man, what a play from Layden Blocker.
Knocked away. Dead ball or line ball turnover. Blocker turns the corner, and he's bumped off his path. This was one heck of a play.
Will make Rod Strickland proud. How about Layden Blocker pursuing it, gets a hand on it, the save, the presence of mind to look to the three-point line. R.J. Smith, give them all three here in Wintrust.
Behind this family's financial future is their advisor, helping them grow their wealth and share it across generations. And behind their advisor are Vanguard's institutional quality bond funds, powered by smart, repeatable strategies. Fact is, 90% of Vanguard's active bond funds outperformed their peers over the last 10 years.
We can get behind that.
Are you backed by institutional quality bond funds? Vanguard, discipline that delivers.
Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Nah, nah, nah.
Keep your friends close and your neighbors closer. Keke Palmer stars in The Burbs, a new original series streaming February 8th, only right here on Peacock. 3-point lead for DePaul, less than 3 to go before halftime on top 25 St. John's. And look who is in the building for Rod Strickland jersey retirement night. Derrick Rose, former MVP of the NBA with the Chicago Bulls. They showed him on the Jumbotron here in Wintrust Arena just a moment ago, Nick, and this place exploded.
Yes, he is one of the most beloved figures in Chicago, and he's here to support another basketball legend in Chicago, and that's Rod Strickland, who we were able to speak to. But stars are out tonight, Noah.
You're not kidding. You got Rod Strickland, you got Derrick Rose.
Mark Aguirre's right to our left here.
Mark Aguirre and Nick Baugh calling the game tonight. It's an incredible star-studded event.
It is not. I'm bringing the star meter down. That's what I'm doing here.
A first half that has 7 ties, 5 lead changes, and it's played within 1 possession the entire way. Neither team has led by more than 3 at any point in this first half.
This has just been a rough offensive half for the Red Storm. You got to credit DePaul, and DePaul is playing hard, making things tough. But right now, St. John's 5 for 17 from 2, 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. Dylan Mitchell getting into foul trouble, I think, has hurt the Red Storm as well.
That was the first thing that Rick Pitino brought up to you and I when we were talking about this DePaul team this morning. He said, man, they can defend you.
Yes. I think Chris Holtman made a concerted effort to just get bigger and stronger on that end of the floor, and it has paid off. And Chris Holtman was more concerned about the offensive end tonight, saying, I mean, we're going to have to find some offense one way or another, whether it's in transition or beating their full court pressure. I think he felt pretty confident in his group's willingness to play hard and play on the defensive end. So here's some of this full court pressure that you just haven't seen a ton of.
Because they haven't made many shots to be able to get it set up.
That's right. Can't press if you don't score.
Says Flores, the 7'2" big man. Double team comes over from Cray. Shot clock down to 6. Nice bounce inside from Smith to Macklin.
It's a heck of a job by Smith. Knew Flores was in big trouble on that double. He went and got the ball from him and then was able to find the open man, but got to help your big fella out if he does get doubled.
Sellers lobs inside. Ejiofor going right into the chest of Flores, who altered the shot. Prey tapped the rebound, but right into the hands of Smith. DePaul said they wanted to pick and choose their spots to run. This was a great opportunity. Couldn't finish. Second chance for Banks, and he's going to the free throw line.
I tell you what, Noah, Flores has bothered Zuby Ejiofor defensively. He's not been able to really get all the way to the basket with a comfortable, clean look. Here he's trying to attack him, but Flores is 7'2". He's long. He's used to being able to just bully people down, and Flores' length has neutralized that a little bit.
5 points on just 1 of 5 from the floor right now for Ejiofor, who's a top 10 scorer in the Big East.
Yeah, between Benson and Flores are just two different bodies. Benson's more beefy, Flores longer and rangier. So just throwing different guys at a guy like Zuby Ejiofor.
Well, coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report, we'll check in with Mike Florio and Chris Sims over at PFT Live. An early Super Bowl preview, and Nick and I will break down the first half. So stay tuned with us. The Jeep Halftime Report coming up at the break. Another turnover. St. John's has given it away a couple times in a row. Blocker in transition off the hesitation. Largest lead of the day for the Blue Demons, up 4. The slip from Banks, kick to the corner. Blocker wanted one more, but nobody was there. Now Blocker shut off on the baseline. Banks spots up. It rims out. Offensive rebound, Macklin. He's been so good in the last couple weeks. Blows right by the defender here into a double team, but it's swatted away by Prey. Sellers leans into a step-in 3, and he cans it.
It's a nice defense to offense sequence. Staying vertical, getting the turnover, and Sellers drilling one. Good timeout from Holtman. When Sellers can get rolling, look out. Well, doing a good job being loaded up in that help gap. Multiple red jerseys, hands to the sky, and no one stops the ball. And Sellers plays with supreme confidence. The Stanford transfer, drilling a 3.
Well, we'll take the timeout with them. It's a 1-point lead for DePaul with 48 seconds to go before halftime.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check just how permanent my body paint was. So, yeah, check Allstate first. You can save hundreds.
Are you looking at 4x4s on Cars.com again?
No.
Whenever you look at 4x4s, you turn into the version of yourself that drives a 4x4.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Really?
I was thinking of something more sophisticated. Huh. Fine. Keep the beard.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
Every truck month, trucks talk tough, but only one delivers the trucks worth talking about. Ram Truck Month, the most powerful light-duty gas lineup in America, backed by America's best powertrain limited warranty. Hurry in now for great deals. Nothing stops Ram.
48 seconds left before halftime. DePaul at home inside Wintrust Arena, up 1 point on top 25 St. John's, trying to end the Johnnies' 7-game win streak that dates back an entire month. Have not lost a game since January 3rd. DePaul, meanwhile, having its best season in about 5 years. Already 4 wins in the Big East, matches what they did a season ago. Just 2 years removed from an 0-20 season in the league. Blocker circling through the lane, threw it away. Hopkins with a 3-on-2, lowers the shoulder into the defense, had it whisked away for a moment. He regathers and scores to give St. John's the lead.
Isn't it amazing? Live ball turnovers, 5 straight points. Sellers pull up 3, Hopkins all the way to the rack. got to be careful with the basketball when you're taking on St. John's.
The largest lead for DePaul was 4. That was quickly erased. 6 seconds before halftime. Macklin, one-on-one against Hopkins, gets to the elbow. Shot was altered inside. Offensive rebound. The putback will not go for N.J. Benson. What a fun first half inside Wintrust Arena.
Highly competitive, not a lot of shot making, but the effort, energy, and fight is there for both groups.
Is a new season low for St. John's with just 29 points, but they do have the lead. 1 point road lead for 22nd ranked St. John's. After these messages, we get you out to the Jeep halftime reports.
Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Now.
When every moment matters, you unite as one. You care for hearts like your very own. You push your minds to help heal theirs. And you find new paths to forge ahead. Because when defying the odds is what you do, the right care can change everything. For every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic.
Welcome to the Jeep Halftime Report.
We welcome you back inside Wintrust Arena. It is halftime between St. John's and DePaul here in Chicago. NBC is the home of Super Bowl 60 this Sunday between the Seahawks and Patriots, and we can't wait. Mike Florio and Chris Sims of PFT Live bring you a special early preview.
Welcome to the set of PFT Live during Super Bowl week in San Francisco. We'll get you ready for the big game. Seahawks-Patriots, if you haven't heard. Christopher, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'm extremely excited about the game, right? I mean, I think there's so many things to talk about. Drake May, second-year quarterback in the Super Bowl, one of the youngest we've ever seen. Sam Darnold, journeyman. Oh, he's been a bust. Oh, no, actually, he's not. He's got a little team around him, support. You see how good he is and what he's doing there. The two defensive coaches in the offensive coaching era of Vrabel versus Mike McDonald. So that's what I'm excited about. I think this is going to be a defensive, physical, right, management by the head coach type of football game. I'd be shocked if we saw a lot of points. I would be shocked if we saw a convincing win by either side. I think it's a field goal type of football game, and that's what I'm looking forward to in Super Bowl 60.
I think Mike Vrabel, the Patriots head coach, is the X factor in all of this. And I know, oh, wait, what a hot take, a head coach as the guy. But the way that he understands the rules, the way that he knows how to motivate players and connect to other people. He's the perfect combination of all the good traits that you would want in a coach. And he knows how to take it and put it into action. And if the Patriots win, it's going to be because of some decision he made in a key moment, and he knew exactly what he needed to do to take advantage of that opportunity and pull off. And it could be something that happens in the third quarter when we're really not paying attention. We're just settling in again after halftime. But there's going to be something that breaks their way and sets the stage for the win. If they win, I think that's why.
Well, I hear you there. He's the best in situational football in the sport. The Seahawks and Mike McDonald aren't bad in that department either. But I hear what you're saying there, and I do think between Vrabel's experience in the Super Bowl, Josh McDaniels being there, the Seahawks with an offensive coordinator and Clint Kubiak, who's worried about his new job being the head coach of the Raiders, those are things that worry me. I do think the Seahawks are the more talented football team on the field. I lean towards them. I haven't made an official pick yet, but I think it is going to be a really close football game.
I can remember a few times sitting at this desk in recent years where you have said one team is more talented, but I think the other team's going to win.
Yeah, right. It's happened.
We'll see how it goes.
Right.
Coverage begins at 1 Eastern on Sunday, leading up to kickoff at 6:30 p.m. Eastern of Super Bowl 60. Enjoy the game.
The stage is now set for Super Bowl 60. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks take on Drake May and the Patriots for the Lombardi Trophy. It's Super Bowl 60 Sunday on NBC and Peacock. When we come back here to Wintrust Arena, we will get you all set for half number 2 between St. John's and DePaul.
And Doug.
There it is, Limu, the 50-yard line. Soon we'll be telling the whole stadium how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance. To save people hundreds! Whoa! Ah! Looks like we're walking.
We'll get them at halftime. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
To all of you road trippers, family hikers, and nature lovers. To the everyday adventurers, sunshine seekers, and meanderers. Whether you're an out-of-towner, a go-to-towner, or a chow-downer. To the daydreamers and the sunset chasers. Consider this your invitation. Let's Texas.
They say the Olympics are the pinnacle of human achievement. Guess they haven't played this game.
Let's go!
The Traitors is back.
What did I get myself into?
We're going to murder and vanish. There's no limit to ambition.
Get some money! Or betrayal.
Who will take home the gold?
What a special night here inside Wintrust Arena. The jersey retirement of Rod Strickland, and that dude was a baller. One of the best to play here at DePaul before going on to a 17-year NBA career, was second-team All-NBA in the 98 season when he averaged a double-double and led the league in assists. We welcome you back inside Wintrust Arena. Former Creighton Blue Jay Nick Baugh and Noah Reed back with you. Didn't this just feel like a typical Big East slug-it-out, physical, defensive first half?
Early February, in the dog days, the second time you're playing a team, the familiarity is there, the urgency is there. I couldn't agree more. Both teams' effort on the defensive end shined through and really was the story of that first half.
St. John's scored a season-low 29 points, yet they're the team that's winning right now at halftime, and it's because, you said it, just these two teams, both of them, were really good on the defensive end of the floor.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what we anticipated. It's the DNA of both these groups. Chris Holtman's done a good job building it on that end of the floor, a very physical defense, and then we know St. John's with their athleticism, in particular in that front line, it's going to be challenging to score on the Red Storm. So I was very impressed how both teams were able to shine through on that end, and I also didn't think that missing shots deflated either team. They continued to compete and fly around.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, neither team hit 30 in the first half. The defense was really good on both ends. So, again, it was all defense was the story there, and you're getting a look at it here.
Yeah, and DePaul understood that they needed to be locked in and ready to rock, in particular in the paint, and that's where they made life really challenging for St. John's. St. John's is a team that usually wins the glass in the paint every single game they play in. Actually, we're even on the glass, and St. John's was able to win the paint. But at the end of the half, I thought the 5-point surge was very important, getting the defense to offense for the Red Storm. So all things considered, these two teams, really the stat kind of completely even on both sides.
Take a look at the first half stats brought to you by Jeep. The teams shooting 30 and 33% respectively from the field. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but that's essentially the kind of first half we just had.
No doubt about it.
Both teams took care of the ball really well. Wasn't a lot of live ball turnovers that led to points. 1 point lead for St. John's on the road here on Rod Strickland jersey retirement night inside Wintrust Arena. Second half on the other side here on Peacock.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check my outfit before meeting my girlfriend's family. Checking Allstate first was an excellent plan. Not checking which team my girlfriend rooted for? Yeah, not great. So check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds. Ex-girlfriend.
This one or this one? Sam, are you cheating on me with another pet store?
It's not you, it's just they have auto ship. I still go to PetSmart for grooming and toys.
We don't want to be your side pet store, Sam. PetSmart has auto ship too.
You do?
And so much more. Come on. We also have same-day delivery and in-store pickup.
You're like the full package.
Exactly. Shop anything, anyway. PetSmart. Anything for pets.
We welcome you back inside Wintrust Arena. It is halftime between St. John's and DePaul, and we welcome in those of you that just got done watching UConn beat Xavier 92-60. 1-point game in this meeting. These two teams have already met once earlier this year. That was in the Big East opener. Both coaches said we're a lot better and they're a lot better than they were a month and a half ago.
Yeah, and this game was very competitive for, in particular, the first half, and ultimately St. John's flexed their muscles in this second half and extended that win out to being a 13-point lead. But you just said it. Both these coaches pointed out how different they really are. St. John's has been playing much better, as has DePaul.
79-66 was the final in the Big East opener for St. John's to beat DePaul. There is Chris Holtman, head coach of DePaul in year 2. Rick Pitino in his 3rd season with the Johnnies. 7-game win streak, and doing so, they're winning by double digits and shooting the ball really, really well.
Yeah, and I think one of the most important components to the 7-game win streak is Dylan Mitchell's emergence of playing more minutes and doing a little bit of everything for the group. And him getting in 2 personal fouls and getting into foul trouble, only played 11 minutes in that first half. I don't think it's too crazy of dots to connect that Mitchell struggled a little bit. He was 0 for 4 from the floor, and St. John's struggled a little bit. He is just, as he's played more and played better, St. John's has played better as well. So it is going to be very important for Mitchell to not pick up that 3rd foul and for him to put his fingerprints on this game.
Not the most stellar first half offensively for either team. St. John's shot just 30% from the field. DePaul shot 33% from the field. And so we've got a low-scoring defensive battle through the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I do think Chris Holtman, he wishes he had a little more offense, but he's got to be pretty proud of how his group has been up for the fight. To be even on the glass against St. John's takes an enormous effort from everybody that stepped on the floor. And for the most part, they took care of the ball, got a little sloppy in that final 90 seconds. But it's one thing to do it for 20 minutes. Can you do it for 40 minutes against St. John's?
Chris Holtman's team trying to hand St. John's their first loss in a month. 7 straight wins for the Johnnies. A first half that included 7 ties, 6 lead changes. Neither team led by more than 4 at any point. St. John's ended the first half on a 5-0 run to take this 1-point lead as we start the second half.
Again, can Dylan Mitchell play without fouling? That's something I'm going to be watching for the first 4 or 5 minutes here.
No points, 2 rebounds, picked up 2 fouls in that first half, missed a lot of the first 20 minutes for a guy who has been on a tear during this 7-game win streak for the Johnnies. Gunn lobs it inside, ball was poked away.
Live ball turnover, Noah.
Open look for 3, Sellers cans it. The last 8 points dating back to the first half, Nick, have come off of live ball turnovers turned into points.
St. John's, they feast off of those, and on a day where they're struggling to score in the half court, it's huge to get those for the Red Storm.
This is now the largest lead of the day for St. John's. They're on an 8-0 run to wipe away a 4-point deficit. Benson inside, goes off the window to put it back down to a 2-point game.
Job by Benson to go pursue that deflected lob and lay it in.
Backdoor cut, great feed from edge of 4 into Dylan Mitchell for his first 2 points of the game.
Nice call from Rick Pitino, a little slip screen. Mitchell acted like he was going to set a flare and then cut right to the basket, and Ejiofor, who leads the team in assists, with a nice delivery. It also gets Mitchell a layup, maybe gets him feeling like he's involved in this game after being in foul trouble.
Kick out, open 3, R.J. Smith drills it.
You know, R.J. Smith didn't do much scoring at Xavier, but he had 8 assists in Cincinnati on Saturday. So he has really made an impact one way or another. Another big 3 for Smith.
His season high 13 came in the first meeting between these two teams in December. Ejiofor thought about the 3. He has hit one already tonight. Sellers, great one-on-one defense from C.J. Gunn, and he forces a tie-up.
And Gunn's pressure made it so Sellers couldn't throw the ball into Ejiofor, who had the smaller blocker on him. So good ball pressure from C.J. Gunn saves a potential post-up opportunity for Ejiofor.
Shot clock is at 3, so St. John's has to get up something quickly here. Good feed. Jackson lowering the shoulder, no, and it did not hit rim. A shot clock violation with a late wedgie.
Nothing worse than a late wedgie.
No.
That was a nice late contest by Leighton Blocker, too, who got caught sleeping a little bit on that back pick, but he walled up and made it tough on Jackson. But it's kind of been that kind of night for St. John's. Another shot around the rim they just haven't been able to get to go down.
Yeah, you said that probably 2 or 3 times now. They're getting good looks. They just haven't been able to capitalize. C.J. Gunn off the flare.
And that's good switching and staying on to C.J. Gunn, not letting him rise up, because he's hunting right now. You can kind of feel it.
Contest here by Hopkins. Banked in. Sometimes it's just your night.
You could feel that he was going to get one up there one way or another. A little bank for Gunn.
2 years at Indiana where he did not have much of a role with the Hoosiers. He's come here to DePaul and has been the leading scorer for 2 seasons. Sellers leans into it. It was short. Ejiofor +1.
He just doesn't get tired. He doesn't get tired. He never takes a possession off. Every single time the ball is shot, he is flying to the rim. Here he is coming right down the middle of your screen, gets in front of Pierre Justin, and now a chance for a 3-point play.
The phrase that Rick Pitino used that really stuck with me is, this kid's effort level is scary.
Yeah, scares the heck out of opposing coaches, that's for sure.
Cannot complete the 3-point play, and Gunn has the rebounds. DePaul has not missed a shot in the first 3 minutes of this second half, trailing by a point. Flare for Gunn. Lobs inside, Benson with 2 defenders. Smith uses the screen, feeds Benson on the roll, 2 to shoot, whips it to the corner, and it's just off the hands of Teo Pierre Justin. Ball's back to St. John's.
One you'd want to have back if you're Benson. Keep it simple. A left-handed through traffic baseline zip pass, just with the shot clock in that spot. Go attack Ejiofor and get a shot up. All of a sudden, those turnovers starting to creep up for DePaul over the last 4 or 5 minutes of game time.
Ejiofor's hit one. This time he got Benson up in the air, drives it right to the basket. And a couple fouls in a row on this DePaul team with Ejiofor going to the basket.
You gotta know scouting report. I know Zuby Ejiofor knocked down a 3 earlier. It's only his 10th of the season, but you'd much rather have Ejiofor shooting 3s than using his big body and athleticism driving it. But Benson bit just enough on the shot fake to get out of position, and when you're out of position, you foul.
We talk a lot about this 7-game winning streak and how that's kind of been the turning point of the season, but there was a moment before that. The game that St. John's lost to Kentucky, Zuby Ejiofor said in the post-game press conference, I think every single one of us needs to look in the mirror and decide how we want this season to go. And not that they've won every game since then, but it's been a team that has kind of shifted its mentality since that game.
And I think all the other Red Storm players shifted their mentality of, we need to get Ejiofor more touches. I don't think he got enough touches in that game, and in the games leading up to that one early in the year, there's been a much more focus on getting it inside to Ejiofor. But when you taste what a Big East championship is like and getting into the NCAA tournament like St. John's did last year, Ejiofor wants to recapture that, and he's trying to lead his group.
Pass was tapped away. St. John's narrowly forced the turnover, but Mitchell was on the sideline.
He's just so active. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the league, Dylan Mitchell. This guy right there. Chris Holtman had effusive praise for Mitchell. Recruited him when he was at Ohio State. Said he was one of the best athletes he's ever recruited. Well, I don't think Holtman's surprised in the least to see Mitchell playing at a high level for Rick Pitino. Oh, wow.
Great defense from Dylan Darling, and then he's fouled.
He is so underrated on the ball. He had a big steal on the ball of Bud Clark against Seton Hall and when laid it in the Garden. Don't let that babyface fool you. He's going to come take your lunch money. A heck of a play from Dylan Darling, who Rick Pitino said he's fearless.
Mitchell, no tap in there. Oziah Sellers flies in to tip it in.
Slowly but surely, St. John's imposing their identity. Offensive rebounds, steals, turnovers.
A 6-0 run for St. John's. Blocker cannot put an end to that. Johnny's with a chance to push here. Mitchell, what a feed to Hopkins. He's blocked. And it goes back to DePaul. Great transition defense from the Blue Demons. St. John's has opened its largest lead of the night, though, up by 5 on the road, trying to make it 8 straight wins, but the defense of DePaul trying to prevent that.
Every truck month, trucks talk tough. Only one delivers the trucks worth talking about. Ram Truck Month. The most powerful light-duty gas lineup in America. Backed by America's best powertrain limited warranty. Built to never stop. Hurry in for great deals during Ram Truck Month. The only one worth the talk. Nothing stops Ram.
Purchase this Ram 1500 and get 0% financing for 60 months or $6,500 total cash allowance on select 2026 Ram 1500 models in dealer inventory. And get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
You know what? I'm gonna put that on silent. Heights are afraid of me. Find your fun again. Ships, am I right? Carnival is calling.
In 3 days, the Winter Olympics kicks off with the opening ceremony. You can join the celebration on NBC and Peacock. That is Friday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Just about 2 minutes before halftime, DePaul was up 4. St. John's has completely erased that, taken their largest lead of the game at 5. And you said it to me during this timeout, Nick, this feels like a really crucial few minutes right now for DePaul.
Yes, you can feel the tide slowly turning in favor of St. John's. They're imposing their will, all of a sudden forcing turnovers, getting on the offensive glass, and starting to build a cushion here. DePaul needs to make sure they lock in for the next 4 or 5 minutes if they want to hang in there. And if you're St. John's and Rick Pitino, you got to be very pleased how you've begun to get the complexion of this game to look how you want it to look.
And that's kind of been the theme for St. John's during the 7-game winning streak. They're not blowing teams out. They've been down at halftime multiple times and then finished the game really well.
Yeah, and that's why, obviously, a big game coming up this weekend against UConn. And you wonder, maybe a trap game, get caught looking ahead. Rick Pitino immediately shook his head at that notion, was thinking, hey, listen, it's been challenging for us to win a lot of these games during this winning streak. So it's maybe if St. John's was winning these games by 20 or 25 points, it could be a look-ahead spot. But DePaul had Rick Pitino and St. John's full attention.
Have a chance to go into that game, winners of 8 straight and just 1 game back of UConn. That's a big game Friday night for the 2 top teams in the Big East. Largest deficit that DePaul has faced at any point tonight, down 5. Smith swings it back out to Macklin. He's been really active on the glass, but hasn't got the scoring going tonight. Macklin pull-up jumper way short. It was deflected, and it's a shot clock violation.
Just great talk and communication, switching and fighting the dribble out on the perimeter. Another great defensive possession for the Johnnies.
It's the third time St. John's has forced a shot clock violation tonight.
Sounds weird. At least you're able to set your defense if you're DePaul, though.
Darling bouncing inside. Mitchell up top, deflected away by Flores.
Flores' length has really bothered St. John's and Zuby Ejiofor.
Catch and shoot. Smith from the corner. No. Ejiofor with his 7th rebound of the night.
That's the kind of shot I think Chris Holtman wants, though. Early in possessions, getting some transition.
McClure tapped it away. Stays with St. John's.
Quick breather for Layden Blocker. Now he's back on the floor.
Let's go, Movie Nation defense!
Sellers off the dribble handoff. Kick it out to the corner. Darling, one more to Sellers. To the elbow, got the defender up, fades away, left it short, nearly tracked down his own miss. Here comes Macklin darting across half court. More than 3 minutes scoring drought for DePaul, trying to put an end to that here, down 5. Macklin, great one-on-one defense from Darling, and he draws the charge.
What a great high IQ defensive play from Darling. Could feel that Macklin wanted to big boy him a little bit. Takes it to the chest and then times up this one. Knew another one was coming, boom. That's 2 turnovers forced for Darling over the last 2.5 minutes. Just a much better defensive player than you were maybe anticipating when he arrived from Idaho State.
Was the Big Sky Player of the Year last year at Idaho State. Mitchell to Ejiofor. Floats it up, won't get the bounce.
You want to push if you're DePaul before that St. John's defense can get set.
Not that they necessarily want to turn it into a track meeting in St. John's, but you got to get some transition looks. One and done for C.J. Gunn.
Offense can be tough to come by for DePaul. That's the one area they don't score with just ease.
Sellers can.
Just easy kick out 3 for a guy that has shot the ball well. His 3rd made 3 tonight.
9 consecutive for St. John's. DePaul working on more than 4 minutes without a point. Macklin leans in, left it short. He wanted to whistle but didn't get it.
Good defense from E.B. Sandin that was up for the fight there.
Mitchell has a bit of size on Gunn. Ejiofor. Whoa, supposed to be a pass. It almost banked in.
They got caught in between there. It was definitely supposed to be a lob to Mitchell, who was streaking to the rim.
Gunn ISOs against Ejiofor. It's short. They can't buy a bucket. Rick Pitino takes a timeout. Sellers and Macklin with a little extracurriculars after the whistle. Eight-point lead for St. John's. Chris Holtman's team trying to find some answers here at home against Rick Pitino's top 25 team.
Every truck month, trucks talk tough, but only one delivers the trucks worth talking about. Ram Truck Month, the most powerful light-duty gas lineup in America, backed by America's best powertrain limited warranty. Hurry in now for great deals. Nothing stops Ram.
Michelin is the official tire of IMSA. From the track to the street, perform on all roads with the legendary collection of Michelin Pilot Sport tires. Ready for track-inspired technology? Michelin recommends TireRack.com as your source for the Pilot Sport family of tires. Learn more at TireRack.com/pilot.
Here's a look at the schedule coming up on Peacock, including tonight. Late night hoops on the West Coast. Indiana travels out to Southern California to take on the Trojans. That game tips off in a little over a half hour from now. Then 4 games tomorrow, 3 of them in the Big East. So we just got word moments ago that after the extracurriculars between Sellers and Macklin, they were both issued a double technical.
Correct. Both of them got tangled up in a little bit of a shove both ways, and double tech, making sure that doesn't escalate. This has been a competitive, hard-fought game, and those have a way of bubbling over. But what do you expect? It's February, it's Big East Conference play, it's the second time you're playing teams. You can imagine that emotions are going to be high.
DePaul having trouble scoring the basketball right now. More than 5 minutes without any points. Nobody has more than 6 points for the Blue Demons in this game. And meanwhile, St. John's has turned that into a 9-0 run to take an 8-point lead.
Yeah, certainly St. John's has a lot to do with the drought. I mean, their athleticism, their ability to switch and defend the ball at all 5 spots. Ejiofor can defend, obviously, a center. He can also get out on latent blocker and slide his feet. And that switchability defensively has really given DePaul issues. We'll see if the Blue Demons can find any offense, because that guy's got his group playing at a high level defensively here tonight.
Chris Holtman's team trying to end a 7-game win streak for St. John's that spans exactly a month. St. John's has not lost a game since January 3rd. They are 9-1 in the league and have a chance to pull within 1 game of first place UConn with a win tonight. Johnny's on a 9-0 run over the last 5 minutes. Jackson into the paint. 5 to shoot. Lobs inside to Ejiofor, and there's a whistle before Ejiofor went up with it. Eight-point lead for St. John's over DePaul on the road here on Peacock.
Should we sell the car and get something bigger?
Yeah, we can do both on cars.com.
You're so smart.
I know.
But what if it's twins? What if it's quadruplets?
Huh?
What if it's octuplets?
Are you freaking out? Get it together, Larry.
I got this. I got this.
Uh-huh.
Sell your car with cars.com. Buy your car with cars.com. Where to next?
Are you Marsha?
I am. I am.
Thanks for meeting me here. Usually not an interweb dating guy. Barely ever use this phone computer. Unless it's to bundle my insurance with Liberty.
Oh, same. I hate this thing, but it's true. You can save hundreds bundling with Biberty.
Biberty?
Biberty.
Are you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some lasagna.
And some cannolis.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Largest lead of the night for Rick Pitino's St. John's team, up 8 on the road against DePaul, trying to make it wins in 8 consecutive games. And that's kind of what has been pretty remarkable about St. John's during this 7-game win streak, Nick, is they've won games scoring a lot of points, and they're showing you that they can grind out this kind of game, too.
And it's interesting how, obviously, there were high hopes set on this group and high expectations. Preseason 5th-ranked team in the country, and didn't get off to a fast start, and everybody kind of turned the page on this group, and all they've done is gotten better and better. They're 9-1 in the Big East here. And I think when March comes around, this is going to be a team you do not want to see in the NCAA tournament.
This end for DePaul has been a struggle. 5.5 minutes without any points. They're 0 for their last 6, and they've got 4 turnovers during that 9-0 run for St. John's.
One thing you have to keep in mind if you're DePaul, I'm not saying force shots, but you turn down a relatively clean look, you're probably not going to get another clean look against this group. I think sometimes there's been some possessions where DePaul could have caught and shot a 3 or a mid-range shot, and they've turned it down, and they've been into getting caught late in the clock.
McClure turns the corner, gets downhill. Ball was swiped away by Mitchell. It does stay here with DePaul.
Mitchell's done a nice job not picking up that 3rd personal foul.
Get it inside to Macklin.
Well, it looked like if Macklin would have caught that clean, he had a layup opportunity.
McClure step back, hand in his face, off the heel, and boarded by Mitchell. His 6th rebound tonight. So the drought continues here for DePaul, approaching 6 minutes. Jackson connects on a 3.
I think Mitchell's emergence has allowed Jackson to kind of just focus on what he does best, which is scoring and shooting the ball. And danger zone now for the Blue Demons.
Blocker kicks to the corner. Macklin circling into the lane, and finally they get 2 points.
It's amazing how much better Macklin's gotten over the course of the season here for DePaul.
Jackson took an extra step. They give it away. Do you think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he's coming in from Radford, mid-major program? Probably took him a little bit of time to get going in the Big East.
I also think it's what happens when you're a senior, when you have your final time doing it. It's funny how you just totally immerse yourself in the team. And I think that's something Chris Holtmann talked about, is he has just completely gotten lost in the team success. And
that's an awesome quote.
And that's really good, isn't it? And Macklin mentality has been all about the team, and his play has improved.
Full court press forces a turnover. Oh, what a finish! Bryce Hopkins, are you kidding me?
Boy, in real time, I said, I was thinking, what a job by Leighton Blocker to jump and go vertical, but Bryce Hopkins, an incredible finish.
He hung in the air forever.
And Chris Holtmann's very upset. Felt like that was, he just got a technical foul. I don't blame him. That looked like textbook verticality from Blocker. Only problem is that it looked like he jumped into him a little bit, and there was body-to-body contact, but that's a tough one.
So Chris Holtmann issued a technical after arguing that call. Ian Jackson will take the technical free throws, a 91% free throw shooter.
That's a close one. I'm not sure what you thought, Noah. Blocker went, he was vertical, but there was a little bit of body contact on his ascent.
1 for 2 trip on the technical free throws for Jackson, and now Bryce Hopkins will take his and-one opportunity. Yeah, I'm with you and Coach Holtmann. I just don't know how much better you can defend that kind of play.
I agree. Either way, that is an amazing finish from Bryce Hopkins.
Cannot complete the three-point play. Almost tapped the rebound to himself, and then he gets called for the foul, pushing Macklin out of bounds. And those two guys trade some words. It has gotten a little chippy the last couple minutes.
Blocker and Hopkins met in the air, and now they're having a little conversation after the fact about it.
There was that going on. There was the official having a word with Brandon Macklin. And they are over at the monitor now, too, to see if there's going to be anything additional added to this. We've already had one double technical just a couple minutes ago.
This is where it's always hard. You want to play with emotions, but you don't want to be emotional. And kind of teetering on that right now, I think, for DePaul.
So there was a common foul called on Bryce Hopkins, and then there was a double technical, one on Hopkins, one on Leighton Blocker for DePaul.
Those two guys were chirping at each other.
And so that foul on Leighton Blocker is his 4th. So with 10:28 to go, the starting point guard has to check out of the game for the Blue Demons.
I think that's why he's coming out. Obviously picked up a technical as well, but his 4th personal foul. The officials have been consistent. They've issued out double techs right away. I think they can feel that this game could boil over quickly if you don't keep it together.
Pick and roll. Benson swiped away by Jackson. He's got a one-on-one, leaves it for Mitchell. Back to Jackson, and a blocking foul called on Macklin. And the Wintrust Arena crowd does not like that call. Fourth on Macklin now as well.
We'll see if Macklin got outside the restricted area. Oh, man, that looks like a charge to me.
I'm with you.
Outside the restricted area, he was set. That's unfortunate for DePaul.
And DePaul fans everywhere saying, ball don't lie. But it is double bonus, so 2 free throws. That's also a storyline to follow. They're going to have 2 free throws every foul the last 10 minutes. One for 2 for Mitchell. Benson checks out. The 7-2 Flores comes back in the game for DePaul.
Well, easier said than done, especially with the way St. John's is defending. Paul's got to find some rhythm offensively. This guy's got to get going gun.
He's off the mark on the 3. Rebound tapped around. Jackson comes down with it for the Johnnies. Kick out. Darling spots up. Way off the mark. Jackson with the reload. Off the heel. Scramble for the rebound, and a whistle goes against Dylan Darling. And a sarcastic cheer from the DePaul fans.
St. John's is smelling blood with every rebound right now. Multiple guys crashing the glass, trying to get a hand on it. So you got to be really strong with the ball if you get a rebound. 2 hands, chinning it.
St. John's, one of the best rebounding teams in the Big East. DePaul is last in the Big East in rebounds this season. So one area that St. John's has a big advantage. Just 2 points in the last 8 minutes for DePaul.
Well, how about Bryce Hopkins denying Gunn the ball, kind of blowing up the set.
Smith carves his way into the paint, and he's got a chance at a 3-point play.
The thing about defenses that are switching everything, at some point, somebody's just got to do this, Noah. They got to be able to win one-on-one, get into the paint, and either spray it to a teammate or score themselves. And finally, Smith able to get all the way downhill and convert.
DePaul, who struggled to score the basketball, has 2 of its top 3 scorers on the bench as well. Layden Blocker over there with 4 fouls. NJ Benson on the bench as well. Ejiofor bounces to a curling Darling, lost the handle. Kick out, Ejiofor straight away, 3, no. Chance to cut it to single digits. Gunn weaving through the paint, no. Offensive rebound, Flores. And it stays with DePaul.
That's one you'd like to see Flores try to go back up with it. I know he was kind of stuck underneath the hoop, but see if you can't carve out some space. Get up, either draw a foul or get it up off the rim.
Ejiofor got a hand on it.
The thing about St. John's, they just make every catch tough, everything difficult. Even just a routine inbounding it on a baseline out of bounds is challenging.
Nothing routine about it.
No.
McClure lobs Flores on the baseline, 3 to shoot. Got to get it up. He has no idea, and it's a shot clock violation.
Boy, that's 2 times awareness around the hoop. Flores needed to go up quickly. And instead, you get nothing out of it. Finally got a pick-roll lob to the big fella. And instead, it's a shot clock violation.
The 4th St. John's has forced today. 12 turnovers now for the Blue Demons. Jackson, drop off, Ejiofor flushes it.
Beautiful play from Ian Jackson, who's continuing to try to improve in that area as a distributor.
Back cut, this is Gunn. Turned it over, live ball. Here comes St. John's with a 3-on-2. Sellers stop and pop, in and out. Flores corrals the board. Gunner operates off the screen. Gunn circling into the lane, fades away over the top of Hopkins, won't get the bounce. Just 3 for 11 from the field for DePaul's leading scorer. Sellers steps into a 3 off the heel.
DePaul's got to push. And you've let St. John's get set it on this end. They have just been a vice grip.
Timeout taken by Chris Holtman. His team has gone ice cold from the field here in the second half. 7:04 to go inside Wintrust Arena. Lead is 12 for St. John's. DePaul's got to get something going on the offensive end, but Zuby Ejiofor flying through the air for St. John's.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check my outfit before meeting my girlfriend's family. Yeah. So check Allstate first, and you can save hundreds.
Every truck month, trucks talk tough. Only one delivers the trucks worth talking about. Ram Truck Month. The most powerful light-duty gas lineup in America. Backed by America's best powertrain limited warranty. Built to never stop. Hurry in for great deals during Ram Truck Month. The only one worth the talk. Nothing stops Ram.
Purchase this Ram 1500 and get 0% financing for 60 months or $6,500 total cash allowance on select 2026 Ram 1500 models in dealer inventory. And get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
I'm a Denny's Super Slam. Hot stuff coming through. Okay, y'all can chill now. With our new Slammin' Meal Deals, you can feed everyone and still get dessert. If you've got room. Good luck. Denny's new Slammin' Meal Deals starting at $5.99.
You're the only friend I ever had. I have been tried. And I've had so many friends. But only one that mattered.
Wicked for Good, rated PG, streaming only on Peacock March 20th.
St. John's has really opened it up here in the second half, up a dozen with 7:04 to go from Wintrust Arena here on Peacock tonight. St. John's, they've been known to be so good at turning teams over and not turning it over themselves, and that, again, has been the story tonight.
Yeah, St. John's wins the margins. They win the turnover margin and the rebounding margin most nights, and the glass has been even, but the effort in turning DePaul over has yielded great results as this game has wore on. 18-2 in favor of St. John's, points off turnovers. That's been an area where neither team's had their best stuff offensively, but the defense has been Rick Pitino and St. John's best friend.
It was a 1-point lead at halftime for St. John's. They have ballooned that up to 12. Thanks to DePaul having scored just 5 points in the last 10.5 minutes. Benson with the double team, kicks it out. Extra pass, Pierre Justin straight away, is offline. Macklin is fouled on the rebound.
Macklin is certainly competitively mixing it up tonight. He is fighting. That's a good look, though. Benson in the post, skip it opposite, extra pass. It's a shot Pierre Justin can make.
DePaul is in the bonus now, so they shoot free throws the final 6:46 of this game. Macklin hits the front end of the 1-and-1. You brought up that comment that Chris Holtmann had used about Macklin, saying completely lost in the team's success. He also said playing agendaless basketball, does not care about any stats. He just wants to win so badly.
And that's why he's been in double figures of 6 of the last 7 games. It's funny when you think about everything else but scoring, points kind of come your way. That's been the case for Brandon Macklin.
Knocked away by Benson. DePaul needs a stop desperately on this end. Shot clock down to 6. Lob to Ejiofor. Turns over the left shoulder and scores.
That was quite the jump hook there from Zuby Ejiofor. Quick, rising up.
Closing in on yet another double-double. 13 and 7 tonight for Ejiofor. McClure pestered right now by Hopkins. Shut off on the baseline. Benson lowers the shoulder right into Hopkins, and a whistle on the floor. It will be 1-and-1 for NJ Benson, just a 49% free throw shooter.
This has been a physical game. Any young buck out there, you want to play in the Big East, you come sit courtside a game like this, and you better start doing push-ups, pull-ups. You better start doing it all to be physically there.
A game that has included 5 technicals, if that lets you know how physical it's been tonight. 4 on players, 1 on Chris Holtmann.
And that's how St. John's just has a way of establishing the physicality of the game. And it starts with the inside guys, Hopkins, Ejiofor, and Mitchell.
Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Ejiofor was out of bounds when the ball hit him, so it stays with DePaul.
Macklin's got to be careful. He is mixing it up. You love his competitive spirit, but you don't want it to boil over.
Macklin rejects the screen, down the lane, hangs in the air, no. Tip in won't go. Benson the offensive rebound, and the two-hand hammer.
Good job by Macklin, though, to just get downhill and get a shot up on the rim and attract some people to him.
Jackson right at Benson, missed the left-hand layup. It's boarded by Ejiofor, and the putback dunk.
Expect anything different? Just a hustle play, offensive rebound dunk from the hardest playing dude in the Big East.
Talked about his motor earlier tonight. You're seeing that on full display.
No doubt.
Eight to shoot. Blocker lobs, and a push is called on Mitchell. That's now 4 on Dylan Mitchell.
Wow, with all the physicality, just a little hip check gets called. Barely a little hip check. He's done a nice job, though, playing this whole half relatively foul-free after only playing 11 minutes in the first half with 2 fouls.
So he goes to the bench with 4. Macklin and Blocker for DePaul in the game, both with 4, and Blocker hits the front end of the 1-and-1. This this end of the floor for DePaul has not been the problem,
No.
Nick. 56 points for a St. John's team that averages more than 85 a night.
Yeah, defensively been good enough to win, but St. John's defense has been stellar as well.
Wraps a pass inside. Hopkins spins off of Smith. It won't go through. Rolls off the front of the rim. Blocker accelerates, gets downhill. Bounces a pass out to Banks. Got the defender to fly by. Carves his way into the lane, and free throws coming for Caleb Banks. Well, if you can't get much going offensively in the half court, getting to the free throw line is one way to score points.
Especially when you're in the bonus. Yeah. Put your head down, drive, initiate contact, get to the line. DePaul's obviously had a hard time scoring, but there is plenty of time in this game to erase this deficit. So you don't have to start playing crazy by any stretch.
2 free throws for Banks, cuts the deficit down to 8, 4:05 to go. St. John's working on its 8th straight win. DePaul trying to win for the first time in the last 8 meetings against St. John's. Slapped away by Macklin. Hopkins stepping through, it's ripped away by Blocker. He does not have numbers, but he's going right to the cup anyways, and he finger rolls it in. Rick Pitino wants a timeout.
Boy,
We've got a ball game inside Wintrust Arena.
And look at Chris Holtman. Fired up. His group is trying to fight to the end. Layden Blocker, great hands, and he's off to the races. Darling backpedaling. Step through. Off the window. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go, bud. Hurry up. Come on. I'm a baseball dad. Just because I didn't go pro doesn't mean my kid won't. Give me that.
No pressure, kid. Just everyone watching. Coach says it doesn't matter if you win or lose the game, but that's what losers say.
You got to swivel those hips, right? And you got to swing. Or! And if you don't have the right insurance, you can be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Every truck month, trucks talk tough, but only one delivers the trucks worth talking about. Ram Truck Month, the most powerful light-duty gas lineup in America, backed by America's best powertrain limited warranty. Hurry in now for great deals. Nothing stops Ram.
Hey, last one down buys the Ultras.
You're on.
My tab.
Hey.
$56-50, St. John's with a 6-point lead still, but DePaul has got themselves back in this, Nick. A 6-0 run in the last 65 seconds.
Continuing to just try to fight all the way to the end. A couple of opportunities at the free throw line, and Layden Blocker getting a steal and a layup. Putting some game pressure on St. John's.
DePaul has won 4 straight at home. They haven't lost a home game since December 21st against UConn. The first time since 2007 they've won 4 straight home games. Bryce Hopkins and this St. John's team, led by as many as 12 just moments ago, trying to make it an 8-game winning streak that spanned over a month.
We imagine the ball will try to go inside, either Hopkins or Ejiofor. DePaul's gotten switched a couple of times with smaller players on them to see if they can be up to the fight in the interior.
Ejiofor gives it right back.
There's the switch. Blocker on Zuby Ejiofor.
Ejiofor wants it. He's been calling for it. Blocker fronting him. Hopkins to the cup and lays it in with the left.
How explosive was that from Bryce Hopkins? Talk about rip and go in a big spot.
Benson has it one-on-one in the post. Double team not coming over. Now it does from Hopkins. Banks swings one more. Smith lost the handle, taken away. Sellers with a one-on-one. Oziah Sellers right into the body, forced the miss, and then there's a foul, and if that's Macklin, that's 5. It is. Brandon Macklin is done for the night.
He looked like, in real time, Hopkins got shoved or went flying to the right, and I think it was Macklin trailing it. So keep an eye coming out of the left part of your screen. A little bit of a right-hand extension from Macklin. Been playing on the edge all night. Just great competitive spirit. Unfortunately, his night's done. But how about St. John's able to double the post and then recover to the opposite side of the floor to contest the kick out and then force a turnover. Just defense in a big spot showing up for the Red Storm.
Hopkins hits the first. He's got a chance to push the lead back to double digits. Split the pair. Stays a 3-possession game with 2.5 to go.
See if DePaul wants to go back inside to Benson and invite a double team again.
Blocker does not use the screen. Gives it off to Gunn, who slashes into the paint. Kick out, open, Smith for 3. No. Hopkins, he is lethal out in transition. Euros right around the defender, won't get the tip in to go either. It stays on this end with the Johnnies.
Tough spot for Blocker, but he was fighting one-on-one backpedaling against Hopkins. What a great look from R.J. Smith from 3. Can't ask for a cleaner one than that. Needed to go down.
Let me hear you defense.
Darling zips a pass inside to Sellers. What a look from Dylan Darling.
Talk about some mustard on that delivery. That was a bullet.
Five straight from St. John's after DePaul cut it down to 6, and the Blue Demons give it away.
Take a look, just a little flex cut, and watch Darling just throw a bullet to Sellers as Smith was coming to help. So there was a split second that window was going to be open. What a delivery from Darling.
It's like a quarterback fitting it right in the window. Thread the needle.
Right between the 2 linebackers, and it is a touchdown for Darling.
St. John's content to take some time off the clock here. They can wind it down to just over a minute. Sellers, nice hedge from the double team. Ejiofor stepping through. Kick out, open look from the corner. No. Ejiofor the offensive rebound, and he's fouled.
And a big yell from Zuby Ejiofor. Just once again, finding a way to corral a missed shot. What the big fella did in this second half. Didn't have his best stuff in the first half, missed a couple of easy ones. But that competitive motor kept revving high, and he found a way to get to close to another double-double.
It's pretty incredible. I was just going to say 15 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block, and we're sitting here talking about, didn't have his best stuff tonight. That's a pretty good, not your best stuff night.
Yeah, and it's just pretty amazing to lead the team in points, rebounds, assists, blocks. Like he can do a little bit of everything, but the best attribute of his game is 100% his competitive motive.
Rick Pitino said, forget about a game. He doesn't take a play off in practice.
Yeah.
DePaul's got to go quickly. Down 12. Blocker draws a whistle, so he's got a chance to score 2 points with the clock stopped at exactly 1 minute.
I don't know if it was the fourth or the fifth shot fake that Dylan Darling kind of bit on, but there was a lot of fakes there from Blocker.
Just has not been DePaul's night on this end of the floor anywhere.
Obviously not a super explosive offensive team to begin with, and it's when that's the case, you're dealing with a St. John's team that's locked in and very capable defensively, to put it lightly. That can be a tough combination.
The story surrounding St. John's has been how they've been a lot better offensively this year, but then they can have nights like this where defensively they are elite. 11-point lead, closing in on win number 8 in a row.
Are you looking at 4x4s on cars.com again?
No.
Whenever you look at 4x4s, you turn into the version of yourself that drives a 4x4.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Really?
I was thinking of something more sophisticated. Huh. Fine. Keep the beard.
2 million cars for 2 million possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next?
Are you Marsha?
I am. I am.
Thanks for meeting me here. Usually not an interweb dating guy. Barely ever use this phone computer. Unless it's to bundle my insurance with Liberty.
Oh, same. I hate this thing, but it's true. You can save hundreds bundling with Liberty.
Liberty?
Liberty? Liberty.
Are you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some lasagna.
And some cannolis.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
(62-51) the lead for Zuby Ejiofor and St. John's. They are 60 seconds away from an 8th consecutive win and moving to 10-1, just 1 game back of UConn before those two meet on Friday night. CJ Gunn fouls Dylan Darling. Far from pretty tonight, Nick, but again, the ability for St. John's to beat you in a multitude of ways. They have shown this on this 7, close to 8 game winning streak.
And it's hard in conference play, Noah. Not every game's going to be pretty, especially when you start playing teams for the second time. They got a better sense of your personnel, your pet plays, your tendencies. And so it's really hard for the game to just be free-flowing, and certainly tonight was not that at all. And both these teams, effort-wise, A+.
Yeah. Blocker is in isolation against Hopkins, leans in and draws a whistle.
Well, late here, Blocker's decided he's just going to put his head down and 2-foot jump stop and put it on the official.
Bryce Hopkins said, "I did what?" What are you saying I did? Layden Blocker at the line, the only double-figure score tonight for DePaul. Just did not get much on that end of the floor. Pair of free throws does cut it to 11. Ejiofor spins into a double team, and there is a foul called against, or no, timeout taken by Rick Pitino.
I think Coach Pitino, 38 years as a head coach, could sense that his center was in big trouble.
Man, how fun is Friday night going to be? St. John's, UConn, battle for the top spot in the Big East.
I know they can't look ahead, but we can look ahead. I was thinking the same thing. St. John's has really been playing at a high level over the last month. UConn really took it to Xavier tonight. And with how those two teams competed against each other a year ago, this one is going to be fantastic. Because if there's a team that's up for the challenge of physicality, it's UConn against St. John's. And with all the shooting from Caravan, Solo Ball, Mullins, and Silas Demery's emergence at that point guard spot, coming in, transferring from Georgia, I think UConn's good enough to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens on Friday night when the Huskies and the Red Storm hook up.
You think UConn can win it all. Chris Holtman told us today that he thinks St. John's can push UConn to win the Big East this year, too.
Chris Holtman's very high on this St. John's team. And again, from just an offensive skill standpoint, this team is superior than the one a year ago.
Yeah.
Last year's team was truly special defensively.
They just overwhelmed you.
It was 40 minutes of just overwhelming you athletically with defense and rebounding. And was St. John's, though, tonight, this is as good as they've looked defensively all year.
Well, Chris Holtman's team goes back on the road after this one. Providence on Saturday, then they come back home to take on Creighton. That's 8 days from now right here on Peacock.
Yeah, tough stretch. Lost at Georgetown, and then you let an 18-point lead slip away at Xavier. Now you got to take on a Providence team that from an offensive standpoint is as talented as anybody. You're going to have your hands full. Better pack your defense when you head to the AMP on Saturday.
The record really doesn't indicate how good Providence is.
Yes. Just ask this St. John's team.
Yeah.
Providence took down the Red Storm in the Garden earlier in January.
CJ Gunn, step back three, hand in his face, sticks it. Just a little bit too little of that tonight. Dylan Darling knocked away from him, and there's a foul. DePaul would have had the turnover forced, but instead Darling's going to have free throws here.
Love it. Chris Holtman telling his guys, we're going to fight till the last second. Even if it appears like this one is over, until there's zeros on the clock, we're flying around.
Layden Blocker fouls out with that. 13 points tonight, the only double-figure score for DePaul.
Dylan Darling has played a huge role in this 7-game winning streak, about to be 8-game winning streak, particularly in the second halves of games. Seton Hall was enormously important. Xavier hit a big three, had a big drive to the basket as well. And in this second half, his stat line isn't anything crazy, but forced a couple of turnovers and just been important off the bench for Rick Pitino.
Those two games you mentioned, Dylan Mitchell said in the post-game press conference, we would not have won this game without him. Final 10 seconds. Gunn fading away for three, offline, boarded by Hopkins, and that will do it. Rick Pitino's St. John's team makes it 8 consecutive wins. They are 10-1 in the Big East, and they've got a big showdown with UConn on Friday night.
Wasn't pretty, wasn't easy, but St. John's comes into Wintrust Arena and brought their defense with them to Chicago and finds a way to win a tough one here in early February.
10th Big East win for St. John's for a third consecutive season. It was a fun night inside Wintrust Arena. We had Red Panda. We had Rod Strickland jersey retirement night, but ultimately it's Rick Pitino's St. John's team winning over Chris Holtman and DePaul 68-56. A big thank you to our producer Shaw Brown and the rest of our phenomenal NBC Sports crew. For Nick Baum, Noah Reed saying